Historic ranked. We're pretty high ranked right now. We've been climbing with this deck right here. We got 4 Pact of Negation, 4 Offer You Can't Refuse, 1 Surgical Extraction, 3 Gamble, 3 Skirk Prospector, 4 Strike It Rich, 4 Plunderer's Prize. Um, put our land in a pile over here. 1 Brazen Borrower. These are like sideboard cards you can fetch with Gamble in certain situations. This is to deal with Karn, this is to deal with Persist decks. 4 Leyline of Anticipation, 4 Ironcrag Feet, 4 Charbelcher, and then our land are just the mostly the untapped lands from the new MDFC stuff, and they look like this. Hey, what's up, dude? So let's see how far our rank fell overnight. Trying to push rank 1. Yeah, it's super hot. It's been hot here too. Rank 84. So we were like 76 last night, so we fell like a few ranks overnight. There's no payoffs with this hand, so I'm gonna mulligan. This is better. Put back 1 feet. And all we need to do is hit a land and we can go on turn 3. Alright, so we need a land. It's the mirror match. There it is. It's not the right. Okay, so it's fine. We just do this. We just play the Belcher, and now we can pack negate if opponent tries to go off. Got him. 79. Highest I've ever been ranked is 7. So we're trying to pass that. We'll try. Let's see. No payoffs. Mulligan it. This is super sketchy because we have no land, but or we only have 1 land, but I think we have to take it on the mulligan. All right, we just need to hit 1 more land. Land off the top. Oh, that's not a land. It's super risky, but I think I'm gonna do it. Is just to gamble for a land here. Come on. Okay, that's fine. We go off on 2 turns with this. Take 2. Pass the turn. Alright, and we're just chilling. We can cast Belcher at the end of his turn. Alright. I think that's GG. End of his turn, cast Belcher. Untap and kill him. 76. Yeah, so the way Belcher works is it reveals cards from the top. It exiles cards from the top of your library until you exile a land card, and then it deals damage equal to the number of cards it exiles. But our deck has no lands, technically, so it always exiles your entire deck and does however many cards you have left in damage. Which is the main constriction around building a Belcher deck, is you have to build it with lands that aren't lands. So, like this, for instance, is a spell, but on the backside of it, it's a land. You can play it as a land, and that's pretty much how Belcher works. Is we play a bunch of yeah, you play a bunch of lands that have multi sides. I'm gonna keep this. It's not great, but I am gonna keep it. We have plunderers. We have borrower to possibly slow down the opponent if they're doing anything. Next turn we strike it rich again. Shock and strike it rich. That gets us to 5 mana for Plunderer's Prize. We just can get Belcher out of our deck for 5 mana instead of 4 mana. So if we get a land, we can guarantee a kill next turn because we could gamble. Okay, it's Affinity. We could gamble for Ritual, and then cast Ritual and cast Plunderer's Prize and go off. Alright, so we get a land. I think that means we win. Since we have 2 Plunderer's Prize, we can gamble for Ironcrag Feet, which gives us 7 mana. We need 8 to go off with Plunderer's Prize, but we have 1 extra, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Feet. Prize for 4. And you need 3 mana to activate Belcher. So far, so good. Yeah, we just win every single game all the way up. Nah, we'll hit a stretch of bad luck at some point. I don't think we can take this one because I can't cast the treasure here, so we have no ramp. So it's going to be really hard to cast this. This is better. Pact of Negation would be really good, or a Ritual would also be really good. If you want to get into the top 100, it's like you basically have to play something like this. Whatever you play, it's going to be busted, overpowered. Opponents on Eldrazi Woodlands looks like. Yep, yep. I know there's a couple out there right now. The couple turn to. I think we win this unless he has removal for our Charbelcher. Opponent's on a turn 3 Omniscience deck, and then there's a turn 2 Omniscience with Persist out right now, which is also really strong. And we got another one. So let's see what we're at. Rank 72. Only going up 2 at a time is really rough because we'll lose like 20 ranks if we lose one. Yeah, I like the Woodlands combo deck too. It's like if control was a bigger part of the format right now, because like you don't see a lot of white blue control, then Woodlands combo would be pretty strong. But since it's all like turn 2 Omniscience decks, like you said, or Belcher or red white energy, it's a little bit weaker because it just takes a little bit longer to go off. I think this is fine. Red land would be really good because then we could double treasure. Oh, we don't like Karn. We don't want to see Karn from this deck. Okay. That's good though. So we're just gonna strike, strike, and next turn we can combo with Feet and Plunderer's Prize. We have the mana. We just don't want to see Karn right here. Okay, we're good. Alright, so red, red, blue, red, Feet, prize for 4. Get the Belcher, shoot the opponent in the face for 50 damage. Go to rank 70. Ooh, rank 66. Jump 6 from that. This will go until we lose, and then we're going to be like back down to 100. So. I also don't have too long today. All right. Come on, good hands. We have ramp, we have counter, and we have Belcher. I'm going to keep it. Clear tap land first. Double packed. If we can get the Belcher down, we should be able to protect it pretty well. All right, we just need a land. Put it on like affinity. Synthesizer affinity. Need a land. That's not a land. That's not a land at all. Alright, so the bad news is that we will probably be dead very quickly. Possibly next turn if we don't draw a land right now. Because if he can affinity out here, we're gonna be, yeah. So we'll be dead. You don't. You just use Charbelcher before Pact resolves. So like once Charbelcher's on the field, you could Pact everything, and then you'll get the triggers of Pact at the beginning of your turn, and you just cast Charbelcher and win. But we lucked out here. God, this has been a pretty good run. So like you can't Pact if you don't have a Belcher on the field because you'll lose the game unless you have the mana to pay for it, obviously. But if you do have a Belcher on the field, you can Pact all you want, and at the beginning of your next turn, you're going to get triggers to those packs. But since you can activate Charbelcher at instant speed, you just shoot them in the face before the packs resolve. And then the other usage of Pact in this deck is oh gosh, what's the counter spell? We run the counter spell that counters a non-creature spell and gives whoever controlled that spell 2 treasures. So Pact also serves as a form of ramp for us because we can Pact one of their spells on turn 1, counter our own spell, get 2 treasures, and potentially go off with Belcher on turn 2. It's like really rare, but there is a possible turn 2 kill with that. And it's also just a good way to ramp quickly, right? Um, sure, we can run this. So we play this tap. Next turn we play this untap. Double strike it rich at the end of his turn. Yeah, this is a lot better. Strike. Strike. Opponent might have removal for the artifact, which is fine. There's another strike, so we're just gonna shock this in. Pass the turn. I think opponent probably has removal for this, but we're gonna play it out anyway. Nope, never mind. We untap with it, we win. Unless he's got like Teferi's protection. Line of Anticipation is one of the things that makes this deck reasonably decent against control decks. Because like when you can play everything at instant speed, you can like, oh, I'm gonna draw cards at the end of your turn. Well, I'm gonna cast uh, Ritual and Belcher and just kill you. We get in the salty rope now. I mean, yeah, sure, but like if you're in high ranked mythic, everything is toxic. Is kind of the way I look at it. Pick which toxic deck you like the most, or in my case, you have the cards for. Yeah, here, let me find it. There's a counter spell in this. Offer you can't refuse. So Pact is in here for two reasons. One is that once Charbelcher's out, you can use it as just a flat counter spell, um, which means that like Charbelcher plus a couple packs is like really strong because they have one turn to deal with it. You're going to counter whatever they do. The other thing you can use it for is to counter one thing they do and then counter your own Pact of Negation to make two treasures at instant speed, which is a part of your turn two combo. So that's why it's a four of in this deck. The only card. No, I just have had a Belcher deck for a while. This deck is almost identical to a deck that I've had. It's just that in Modern Horizons 3, they printed a bunch more of these MDFC lands, and it makes the deck a lot stronger because now you can have almost all untapped lands, which before you couldn't do that, which really boosts the power of this deck. Like the deck shell itself is almost exactly the same as my old version of it. The only real difference is that I replaced a bunch of tap lands with untap lands, which it turns it from like a sometimes you can go off on turn two or three if you have the nuts and all your lands work too. You go off on turn two or three a lot because all your lands come in untapped except for a couple of them. Karn is our big worry against this deck, but Brazen Borrower is our answer to Karn, so we don't have any blue mana though, which is not ideal. Oh, the other change would be Plunderer's Prize. But I used to run Creativity, but I actually think that Prize is better now than Creativity. Yes, it costs one more mana than Creativity does to go off, but Creativity requires you to have either a treasure or a token to shoot, which makes it more vulnerable to like removal, and also all your tokens and creatures that you could target with it are all just oh, we just win, are all just mana dorks anyway. So effectively, creativity costs 5 mana because you have to have an untapped treasure. Whereas with this, it's just like it doesn't have that additional requirement. It just costs one more mana, and I think it's probably better. God, this is a tear. We are just. I don't think I've lost since I started playing. What the hell? Holy shit. Crazy. Crazy good luck. I should quit now while I'm ahead. Holy crap. Yeah, this is fine. All right. Okay, so I was gonna play this tap, but since we drew the Skirk Prospect, we're gonna play untapped because now we want to be able to cast on both our turns. Sure. No blocks. I guess it doesn't really matter. It kind of works out the same either way. I think this one's pretty much in the bag here. He would need to take out the prospector and the treasure. So now the question is it better to cast Ironcrag Feet and try to go off immediately? I think we're gonna do this. If he's got remand or reprieve or whatever, it is what it is. All right, got him. We're only gaining one rank now for wins, and if we lose, we're gonna lose a ton. I think the main difference between this deck and the a lot of the lists of Belcher you see online is the inclusion of the ley lines. Like I think that ley line of anticipation is really good in this deck, but you don't usually see it. I don't actually like this because we don't have any blue mana to cast the offer to get treasures with. I'm gonna mulligan. Gamble's pretty sketchy too. All right, let's try this. All right, it's a mirror. Gamble. Come on. All right, that's fine. We lose our untapped land. Or no, we lose our tap land. Should be okay. And this is going to be the turn 2 omniscience deck that's going around. Probably just lose if he has persist in hand. Well, he didn't. He actually didn't mill a scholar, so I don't think he can go off this turn. So we're gonna get at least one more turn. We'd really like to see a ritual off the top of our deck. If he hits a scholar with this, we probably just lose because it feels like he has persist. He was searching his graveyard for a reanimate target. I don't see a scholar. No scholar in the graveyard. Offer's really good because now we can counter if he would otherwise be going off to win. And if he doesn't hit next turn, we can Belcher at the end of his turn and win ourselves, assuming we had a land. So there's the scholar, right? So I've figured out that in general against this deck, the best way to deal with it is to actually let the scholar hit and counter the spell that he tries to reanimate. Because if I counter the persist, if he had another persist, he could just do it again, right? But if I let this come in, it's 4 damage a turn. He's going to try to cast probably Emergent Ultimatum or Breach the Multiverse. We're going to counter it. He gets 2 treasures, but he doesn't have any scholars in the graveyard anymore, so he can't keep looping. It does make it so that we can't combo out here, though. But we would just lose if we let this go off, so... See, and if he has another persistent hand and we counter it, he gets the 2 treasures. He could cast it again. We really don't want that to happen. So we let this go in because 4 damage, like, we're not going to die from this before we die from him just comboing out, probably. Right, we need a land. Did he get another scholar? He did not. Okay, we hit the land, pay the life, no attacks, pass the turn. Cross our fingers that he doesn't have a way to get back any of his spells. And we can't actually stop it if he tries to go off now. We have to hope that... Okay, we don't care about symmetry that much. Because, okay, that's fine. Doesn't actually put it in his hand. Oh, he had the 1 mana Faithless Looting. I think that means we lose. Symmetry is not a card I've seen in this deck. So I assume he put another Scholar in his hand. Yeah. Because he has another Persist. Alright, we're dead. We can let him combo out. I mean, I guess it is possible that he whiffs, but I think he has a Glasspool Mimic. Yeah, so it's not going to whiff. So you can always just reanimate the Glasspool Mimic and copy Scholar again. Well, we tried. Our best answer to this deck is realizing that we're up against it and gambling for a surgical extraction. That's like our kind of special tech against it. So he gets Pinnacle Monk to get a spell back. He gets Conspiracy Unraveler. Or just another Scholar. And basically at this point he can cast his whole deck. Alright, and like he's going to take an extra turn here, which means that we're definitely dead. So we'll go ahead and scoop it up. He has lethal on board. This is 8, 13, flying. We can't block it. Oh, I didn't see what our rank fell to. Damn, I wasn't paying attention. Well, I'll find out. Oh, that's not as bad as I thought. I was expecting worse. Double ley line. Okay, this is a good hand. So keep both ley lines. I think I might be supposed to play my untap land here because it's going to take an extra turn either way. Well, let's see. If we get a land, we definitely do it. Okay, it's the same deck. So if I play this untapped, then I can pact offer to ramp 2 treasures and then potentially cast the Belcher next turn on the end of his turn. But if I don't draw a land, I'm stuck with this tap land, and it takes an extra turn. Takes an extra turn either way, so I think I just do this. Oh, we didn't cast anything. Great. All right. Well, that becomes substantially worse. We need to have him not win the game right here. Okay, we're gonna be too slow, so we're gonna have to gamble for surgical. Hopefully, he doesn't have another persist. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so unfortunately, we were too slow. So now we have to do a risky gamble here for a surgical extraction. and hope that, okay, perfect. Perfect. It's fine. Just fine. Now we can at least combat him trying to go off, right? I could just strip his deck of persists right now. I think I'm gonna do that. Actually, hey, all right. And that's why the one of surgical is in this deck. It's explicitly for that scenario where you're not going to be able to go off in time against that deck and you have a gamble. You can go get it. And since it's Phyrexian mana, yeah, I think he could have still won. Like I personally, I think that he should have stayed in it because you're right. He could have played Mizzix's Mastery. I think it also runs the black white reanimator from the graveyard spell. If that's me, I would have stayed in the game. But guess he did not. But yeah, that's like the whole reason that that is in the deck is for that specific scenario. This isn't great, but I think I have to keep it. Just hope we're not against the energy. Because this is a dead card against energy. Oh, fuck. We're against energy. Of course. I mean, we're still, like, super dangerous to a... Okay, there. That actually makes things substantially better. Because now we can go off next turn. Plunder's Prize, basically a Belcher here. Feet Prize for 4. Shoot in face. I'm gonna go at least until I finish my daily stuff. I have some shit I need to do around the house though, as well. As well as got to get some lunch, feed these puppers. All right, perote. It's not crazy fast, but it has a plan at least, so I'm gonna keep it. Keep a hand that has a plan. That makes it a lot better. Okay. Putting off to a pretty slow start here. Now the question is it worth it for me to go? I think it might actually be worth it for me to go grab a treasure. It's a little risky. All right, all we lose is one of our pack negations, which is perfectly fine. And it basically jumps us up one turn in how soon we can go off by fetching the treasure. I like my luck today is insane. All right. Yeah, only one land is super sketchy. Later, dude. Good luck. This looks pretty good. Hello. It's red white energy. Sure, we're trying. This is the second highest I've been. All right. Hopefully, we're not just dead next turn. Also, hopefully, he leaves our Skirk Prospector alone here. We'll see. All right, plays an amulet. That's like not. That's like pretty good for us because like it doesn't grow the board. It doesn't produce a shitload of creatures. He can't play this yet. He doesn't get energy if he. I mean, the one bright side if he galvanics the Skirk Prospector is that we can sacrifice it so that he doesn't get energy. I'm not gonna block. I think he does have the galvanic, but I'm still not blocking. If he galvanics it, then it would have been better to block, but like we got to kind of play to our out here, which is getting a Belcher down. All right, bro, what are you doing? Opponent really in the tank. So we go down to 10, which means that like we could still die pretty easily just by him boosting Voice of the Blessed a bunch of times. Even if we are able to get the Charbelcher down and he doesn't have removal for it. Best draw would be a ritual unless he kills Skirk Prospector, in which case I don't even know. I think we're just dead at that in that scenario. We can't take two more hits from this. Maybe he just times out though. Okay. Opponent times out. Opponent may have left or disconnected. I'm getting like disconnection vibes. So we take 7 no matter what next turn. Actually 8 because Voice of the Blessed will be pumped by Ocelot Pride hitting first. So if he can gain 2 life, we're just dead. Like if he could play a creature and gain life twice, or not gain 2 life, but gain life 2 times. Awesome. We'll take it. We'll take the free win, I guess. All right, one more game. Then I need to do some stuff. One more game. Come on. Let's see if we can break sub 50. It's a good hand. I'll keep it. Turn 3. This is a turn 3 win. We can shock this in, strike, and counter our own strike to get to 4 treasures. Or, I mean, we could also do the same with Plunderer's Prize, I guess. All right. Let's see if we can finish it out on a win. This was a good run. I think we only lost like twice. Really solid. Oh yeah, yeah. Opponents out of luck. GG. All right. Where do we end up with for the day? 50. 52. All right, good enough. It's a pretty good little climb. I'm going to go get some lunch. So, yeah, later.